Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so welcome to the kindergarten kickoff. We've introduced ourselves, Louise Fernway and Paula Klausner at Onaway. We are very fortunate in Shaker Heights in that we have one dedicated nurse per building. That is highly unusual. I think we're one in a handful in Ohio, and I wish I knew nationally, highly unusual. So we feel very lucky to be part of a district that takes students, their overall health, intellectual, emotional, social, all of it into consideration and high regard. So listed here, you can see the respective nurses for each elementary school. And you see that there's one throughout Woodbury, Shaker Heights. We had some fun the other day coming up with how much experience we had as a group. And we all came with various different experiences, nursing wise, and other professions, right? Paula's a lawyer. Paula has a JD in all of her wonderful nursing. But we have 265 combined years experience as registered nurses. And we all went back to grad school to get our licensure as school nurses, and 139 years combined experience as school nurses. So that data is impressive, and it makes me feel old at the same time.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
You see that Karina has joined us?
Oh, welcome, Karina.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome to the kickoff.
Hello, thank you.
You're welcome. So, I do want to tell you both. So we just have like a couple more slides to go through as a presentation. But if you have any like specific questions that are sensitive, like maybe confidential, I just want to make you aware that this session is being recorded and is going to be made available to the Shaker community at large. So if it's something of a more private nature, like Paula and I can stay afterwards once we stop the recording. But obviously, if it's a general question, please ask away.
Okay.
So this is Paula, she's the Onaway nurse, and I'm Louise, I'm the Fernway nurse. So welcome to the kickoff. Do you have students currently in Shaker, or will this be your first?
This will be our second. We actually are at Lomond now, but we're actually moving. We just moved to Onaway, so we'll be.
Oh, okay. So, okay, very good. And I'm the Onaway nurse. So.
Oh, well, perfect. So this
is your other child coming to Onaway also?
Yeah, she will start third grade and she'll start kindergarten.
Okay, very good. Well, very good. So if you have any specific questions for Onaway that you don't mind being recorded, you can ask me also.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So oftentimes I'm asked, what does a school nurse do? And I will tell you by the day it changes, because we are here not just for all of the staff in the building, but also for the staff. So every day is different, it could be just scrapes and so forth. Sometimes we have, sometimes we're the problem solvers of the school. One of the funniest things I've had happen is a student who somehow got stuck in playground equipment, and there was like a skateboard type thing attached to her hair. So I'm sure Paula can attest, we not only meet everybody's health concerns, but also just what are we going to do with this? And we're utilized in all sorts of ways at our schools. For not just the daily things that come in, but also for anything long-term, any sort of health concerns or conditions that your child may have. We do have students who attend Shaker with all sorts of things from allergies, a history of seizures, diabetes, anything that your child may have, we can help them. We are part of the team here that's going to make sure that they're as safe and comfortable as possible at school. So as needed, we administer medications, we do medical procedures as needed, as long as we have, a medical provider's order on file. One of the wonderful things we do for all kindergartners and first graders and second graders, and it goes on every other grade, basically, we screen their hearing vision. So we make sure that they can hear and see well enough to learn while they're at school. So we do that automatically. And we can also do it as needed. If you, during second grade suspect that your student is having trouble hearing, just call us or email us, and we're happy to do, an upon request screening for your child. We of course let you know if they might need further attention by an audiologist or an ophthalmologist. And one of the big things we do is we actively create a school environment that's safe for your student and for all students. This year, for an example, we've done a lot of education to the students and staff about COVID and how to, we've advised a lot on how to make the schools as safe as possible. And again, I'm very proud to be part of a school district that takes the health of everybody at the district so seriously that there is a nurse per building. If your student does have a medical condition that their teacher or other members of the staff need to be aware of, we let them know that too. And if there's any education that goes along with that, diabetes, teaching a teacher or a paraprofessional what to look for in terms of if that student might not be having such a good health day. So those are just some of the things we do in our job that we love so much. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Paula. And if you have any questions at any point, please, interrupt us or put it in the chat bar.
Okay, very good. You may have already registered. I know that students, if you've gone on shaker.org, you know that you register via Gateway on shaker.org, and at registration you will be asked, and those of you already, both of you, I don't know if there's anyone besides Katrina and Catherine on now, but you've both already registered your children, so you are aware that registration requests emergency medical authorization with your 2 emergency contacts, student health information, list of any medical needs that the school really needs to be aware of, and of course, immunization records. The Ohio Department of Health does require immunizations for enrollment. It doesn't look like there will be any, well, we don't know what's going to happen with COVID, but I have a feeling that's not going to be any kind of required immunization. But I see that a lot of colleges are starting to require it for next year. I've noticed many colleges are, so it may be coming down the pike. Now, it's very important to have accurate emergency medical contacts and accurate ways to contact you. You want to be able to be contacted if there's some reason that the nurse or the school needs to contact you in a hurry. So it's always important to keep your phone numbers updated, your contacts updated. Let your contacts know that they are your contacts and that they will need to respond if we can't reach you. Very important. That is something that, I think no one wants to think that they're ever going to need to be contacted for anything. It could be something as simple as your child has a fever and needs to go home. It could be a playground injury, a broken arm, broken leg, something like that. It could be a lot of different things, but it's very important that we reach you. And also as important is that we know any medical, and I know Louise touched on this already, medical conditions. Just so you know, we do not have to reveal everything to everybody. You can let the nurses know of medical conditions that you don't really want put out there to the teachers or the support staff, but that we need to be aware of. I did have a student once years ago who had a benign brain tumor that her parents did not want anyone to know about. She did tell me about it, but she didn't want anyone to know about it. As it turned out, the symptoms of the brain tumor began to raise questions in the classroom and made the teacher alert to something going on. And I will let you know, my experience with the teachers and staff at the schools I've worked in Shaker is that they pay very close attention to students. There are many days when a teacher will say, she's just not herself. There's something going on. There's something wrong. I don't know what it is. Nothing obvious. And then it falls to the nurse to do the investigation to figure out what's really going on. Is the child sick? Didn't get sleep? Whatever it is. So the additional forms that we might need you to fill out, if they pertain to you, are also on shaker.org. Medication administration, if your child gets asthma medication, if your child has allergies that we need to know about, environmental, seasonal, food allergies, of course, seizure action plans, diabetes action plans, anything that we need to know about. Those forms are on there too. And please don't hesitate to ask your school nurses if you need help knowing what to put on them. We do this. This is what we do. We help parents know exactly what needs to be known in the school and how we're going to deal with it.
Karina, do you still have a question? I know that you raised your
I
hand.
couldn't see that.
Yeah,
I'm
I did.
sorry.
No, that's okay. I did have a question. So when, let's say there is an episode, like Karina has a peanut and Trina allergy. So if there is some type of incident at school, kind of how are the parents notified? And then does the nurse immediately use the EpiPen, or kind of what's the protocol when it comes to, or is it case by case?
It is case by case. Great question. I'm sorry, I couldn't see that you were asking a question. If, well, now that I know that Karina has a peanut allergy, you and I will put together a seizure, an allergy action plan, and whatever medication, if you want, I encourage anyone with an allergy like that to have not just Benadryl, but also an EpiPen, or 2 EpiPens actually, at the school for emergency use. That's something that I would absolutely let teachers and anyone who is going to see her know about. Gym, whatever, music, art, everyone would know about that allergy. And the other thing that we often do is when the teachers see their rosters for the year, they can decide if they have a child, they have 3 children who have peanut allergies. They will often, if not usually, make it a peanut-free room. The kids, they ask children not to even bring peanut anything for any reason, even their own snacks. Not all teachers do that. We go do it on a case-by-case basis. Some kids will react to the smell of peanuts. Some will react to the touch of it. Some will react just if they eat it. I mean, they can be next to someone who's eating peanuts and it doesn't bother them. So it's very case by case and very much individual, but we will make a plan that will make her as safe as possible in school. And, as I said, we'll have emergency medications.
That's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to point out too, and these are available on the shaker.org website, or just reach out to one of the nurses, but this is like a medication form that would need to be on file. And then what's really helpful is there's something called an allergy action plan. And it literally says like whichever symptom and what would be administered in terms of whether it's just the Benadryl antihistamine or the Epi and so forth. So, I mean, if any of us ever have to give one of the emergency medications, you are being contacted, absolutely.
Right.
So thank you for that question.
Good question. Important health-related reminders. We ask that all parents remember it. Sometimes, you get your kid in school and you're not thinking on a daily basis as the year goes on about things that you may want to let the school know about. Updating medical and health information as needed is a very important thing. If your child starts on a new medication, gets a new diagnosis, anything that happens while they're at school, starts a seizure diagnosis, is diagnosed with diabetes or asthma, develops an allergy, very important to let your school nurse know that that's changed. And we would ideally like all medications that children take to be given at home if possible. Not always possible. Rescue inhalers for asthma, that's something you'd want to have at school and have the ability for the nurse to give. Diastat for an emergency and a seizure, epinephrine for an allergy. But sometimes even if a child is on an ADHD med, they get a booster in the middle of the day. All medications that need to be administered at school must be signed by not just you as a parent, but also your medical practitioner. That includes over-the-counter meds. And something that I always did when my kids were in school was just at the beginning of the year, have my pediatrician fill out a form that allowed Tylenol or ibuprofen in case of getting bonked on the head, or in case of a headache, or anything that your child may need, a twisted ankle, anything that might be important to have pain meds for. That way I could ask the school nurse to give that, because if your child does happen to get hurt at school, twists their ankle, falls off playground equipment, not so badly that they need to go home, but might benefit from some pain med, we would have to have you come to school to give the med if we don't have authorization, even over-the-counter meds. So that's an important thing to remember. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. I can't see what's.
I have a
next.
quick question.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, we just moved from out of state. So my child has an asthma action plan from his pediatrician in Georgia. Would you need it to be, like, would it need to come from an Ohio pediatrician in order for you guys to keep it on file?
I do not think so, though you would probably want your new pediatrician here. if
Yeah, we
you-
just haven't, he'll be starting school before his next, his yearly checkup. And so
Sure.
he has a nut allergy, so he has an EpiPen, and then he has an allergy action plan. for
So
his
that,
allergy.
so you sound like you are very well prepared from his previous school. Was he in preschool before? Yeah, it sounds like you have it all.
No, he hasn't been in preschool, but his pediatrician just always been really
That's
proactive.
great. That's wonderful. I would absolutely submit those to your school nurse. What school is he starting at?
Lomon.
Okay, all right. That's great. I would absolutely send them to Vanessa Exum, the nurse at Lomont, and she will, make sure that they're taken care of. For
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
That should be
You're
no
welcome.
problem at all. I agree.
But also, if you're looking for, that's no problem at all. We also often are asked by parents who move here for names of pediatricians that they might want to check out, and we're all happy to give that help.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome to Shaker.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Hi, Paula. This is Caitlin Bell. I just wanted to say hi.
Caitlin Bell. Hello, Caitlin.